Please excuse my hair and my general appearance. I've actually been sick for like 3 weeks, so this is the first time I've felt like good enough to film. Still don't really look it though. Anyway, hi there, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be doing a combined June and July wrap-up. So the reason I'm going to do that is because I had a really crappy reading month in June. I read 3 books, 2 of which were novellas, so does it even count? And then July was a little bit better, but I mean, I might as well just tack the other 3 on, right? Okay, so to get started, the first thing I finished in June was Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't remember that name. Once Ghosted, Twice Shy by Alyssa Cole. And this was a novella that fell in between, I believe it was supposed to be the 2nd and 3rd books in the series. And it follows one of the side characters from the 1st book. This honestly was probably my least favorite entry in the series. I think I've given everything else 4 stars and this got 3 stars. So my issue with this book was I just feel like it's hard because I know it's a novella, so obviously like you don't have a lot of time to tell your story, but I just feel like it could have been expanded on so much more, and if it was a full-length novel, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. That being said, I read it at the beginning of June, and I don't actually remember who the characters were. One of them was Fabiola, and the other was the assistant, Prince Debiso's assistant from the 1st book. I don't remember her name. But yeah, it just follows them. They went on like an online date. I don't know if it was kind of like a Tinder date or like they met online and they went on a date, or like on a dating app, and they went on a date, and she just kind of got ghosted. This girl, Fabiola, was kind of like, all right, well, I had fun. And then she kind of disappeared. And then this, goes back and explains why. And you get to know like a little bit more of their story. I just feel like it could have been better as a full-length novel. I would have appreciated it more if I could have connected to the characters a little bit better. Yeah, I just think the other novella in this series was done a little bit better. So, personal opinion, it wasn't my favorite from the series, but I did still enjoy it. It was still a 3-star read. It was okay. And if you're reading the series, I would definitely like not skip it. You should read it. But yeah, for me, it was just 3 stars. The second book I read in June was The Test by Sylvain Novelle. It was a novella. It was like 125 pages or something, I think. So it's a man from Iran taking a British citizenship test. And it's 25 questions. And it's screwed up. Like, it's 100 pages long. I'm not going to give it away. Like, other people have talked about it on BookTube. I heard about it through people on BookTube. But yeah, it's messed up. It's a messed up little book, and you should just read it. Like, if you're into like weird twisty things, you should read it. I don't think that's a spoiler because I'm pretty sure it's in the description of the book. But yeah, it's weird. And if you like weird things and you're willing to put 100 pages into something weird, you should read it. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. And yeah, so that was the pick of the month for June out of the 3 things that I read. Yeah, I'd say give it a try. It's weird, and it's like 125 pages long, so just give it a shot. You might like it, you might hate it, but I liked it. I thought it was good. And then the last thing I read in June, the thing that took me the entire month pretty much, which it's only 300, like a little over 300 pages, so it really shouldn't have taken that long, was Girl Overboard. This book is about a snowboarder who wants to be like a snowboard girl and like be in the professional world of snowboarding. And she ends up getting an injury and something happens with a boy. And all of that ruins her career. Like, she has to step back, and her family wants her to do something more like business related and not snowboarding, because they think snowboarding is not like a real profession or whatever. This book, it took me 3.5 weeks to read a 300-page book. And yet it still got 3 stars. In the end, it was okay. It was all right. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. There was nothing amazing about it. There was nothing terrible about it. It was what it was. And I'm not the target audience for it, so maybe like a young girl would have appreciated this more. I probably would have liked it more if it had more to do with snowboarding. But yeah, it was okay. It took me a whole month to read, but it was okay. So that was it for June. That's all I read in June, was the 2 novellas and the 1 300-page book. It took me the whole month. That's why we didn't get a June wrap-up. So for July, I did a little bit better, I would say. For July, I read 4 things. So the first thing I read, the first thing I listened to in July was The Last Anniversary by Liane Moriarty. I gave it 4 stars. It kind of follows it's only my second Liane Moriarty, but I kind of feel like she has a very distinct style to her writing, and I'm still kind of trying to decide if it's for me or not. The thing is, when you start one of her books, you can't judge it on the first few chapters. You have to read at least 20-25% of the book before you decide if it's for you or not. It takes a while to get to know all the characters. She has a lot of characters. It takes a while for you to kind of fall into that world, but then you'll be reading and you'll feel detached, and then a little while later, all of a sudden you'll realize that you were so invested in this world and these characters that you have to know what happens, and you just have to keep reading. It was the same for Big Little Lies, and it was the same for this one. So I think I like Liane Moriarty. I have a bunch of her books to read. A coworker gave me a bunch of them a few months ago. So I'm going to continue reading her. Like I said, I gave this book 4 stars. It was interesting. It revolves around this island, this privately owned island that is a tourist destination because of the Monroe baby mystery. And you just go, you live along with the characters and you figure out what this whole mystery is all about. And it was a good time. I enjoyed it. So yeah, 4 stars for that one. The next thing I listened to in July, that was the other thing. Since I was in such a slump in June, I was just kind of I'm going to absorb books in whatever way I can. So I did a lot of audio listening, but whatever. No excuses. It's fine. The next thing I listened to was Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This is another one. Okay, so I feel like this book would be very hard to get into if I wasn't a fan of fantasy, because you have so many different points of view and you see from so many different characters' perspectives. There's so many characters, it's outlandish. Some of the concepts are just out of this world. You're just this is crazy. What? If you don't read a lot of fantasy or books with lots of point of views, I feel like it would be kind of hard to read this book because there's just so many characters. But I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I think it dragged in some spots, but for the most part, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm, again, not going to go super deep into it because this book was really popular. It was a movie recently. But basically, you're following... well, you're not really following any 2 characters, but I feel like our main characters are Nicholas and... Nicholas's girlfriend. Maybe her name will come to me. But she's kind of a regular person. She's American or Chinese American. And he is from this crazy rich Asian family in Singapore. And it's about him trying to introduce her to his family, and like you have all the like family politics and everything. And it's just, it was a good time. It was a good trashy time. I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was a 4-star read for me. The next thing was part of a book club, or like a buddy reading group that I'm part of, and we read Roar by Cora Carmack. And this one I also gave 4 stars. It's a young adult fantasy, and it follows a princess who runs away. So in this kingdom, there are storms, and storms, you have to have like special storm magic to fight them. And you, like, the people that can fight them are called stormlings. Those are like the military, basically, I guess. And like the princess, like the royal family, everybody is supposed to have this storm magic that they can fight storms. And the princess doesn't have any. So she kind of goes off on her own and does her own thing. She meets up with a group of storm hunters. And yeah, it just kind of follows her. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Again, I felt like some parts of it dragged, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. And I believe the second one, Rage, just came out or is coming out. I think it just came out. Maybe it comes out tomorrow. Today? I don't know. Anyway, the next book, no, I think it came out at the end of July. So yeah, the next book is out. I want to read it. Like, it's going to be fairly high priority for me because I really, really, really enjoyed this one. So yeah, that was Roar by Cora Carmack. I gave it 4 stars. And then to finish up this rambly kind of wrap up, the last thing I read in July, and this was the one that I kind of listened to and read, was A Prince on Paper by Alyssa Cole. And that was the 3rd full-length book in the Reluctant Royals series. And that was the last one that I had to read to catch up, and now I've read all of them. And I'm kind of sad because I love them. This one I gave 4 stars. You're following Johan and Naya, which are both characters that have, like, side characters from other books. And it was just really cute. As it turns out, I really enjoy, which I did not know about myself until I read this series, but this book in particular, I really enjoy, like, bad boy royals, or like, yeah, I'll just say that because I don't want to like spoil anything, but yeah, bad boy royal romances might be like a thing for me. I'm gonna have to check out some more of them. I loved Johan. He was fantastic. I loved everything about him. Naya was adorable. This book was great, and it was a good way to finish off my July. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in June and July. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!